Good morning, and thanks everyone for being here. So at last, we are meeting in person again, and it's a pleasure as well as an opportunity to connect with the digital world that requires, however, our physical presence, because we need to taste wine together and tell about emotions, although we'll be discussing a digital platform. And as is necessary, we will not have to wear a mask as we taste the wine. Today, it is our pleasure to present you Pharma, a dream, our project that saw the day as part of an evolution that we've tried to interpret. That is the connection connected with the world of wine and of other Italian products like olive oil, and other gastronomic specialties. This allows us to do something very simple when we see a bottle, that is to learn about its history and somehow be part of it. Firmato da te, which is the payoff, is signed by you in English, is about the idea of the customer's participation. Of course, the customers will never participate firsthand, but they will have an opportunity to learn more about the history of the bottle, and therefore there will be a participation on their side somehow. Okay, let's begin. I am one of the people who participated in the project from the very beginning. I had the chance to be part of this team that wanted to tell a different story. Now, as you can see, the people at marketing were particularly good. They removed all my white hair. And I am the CEO of Pharma and of a tech company called CWS, which collaborates in the development of the project. I am someone who's got two children, two daughters, 10 and 7. And I'm a sommelier out of passion. I'm not a professional. And I am also a trade journalist for Food and Wine magazines that I write about the emotions I feel when I meet a producer, see a winery, go to a restaurant. Now, Pharma just came as the result of a big dream to bring the history of the wine from the very first moment that the consumer faces a bottle or a shelf. And that gives us an opportunity to adopt a vineyard and a vine. Now, when I'm presented a great vintage, I have access to a lot of information, but I would like you to be able to experience that every day. Now, in the digital age, we can do that every day. Now, what we want to do is to give opportunities. It's an opportunity for the companies and an opportunity for the consumers. So this story begins now when many producers are harvesting and will continue to pick their grapes in the coming days. But it started even before then when they started their own project. We have wonderful producers with their own children are traveling around the world to build their competencies, and when they come home, they find their opportunities back at home, introducing the innovations they've learned about, again, around the world. And so we want this innovation in the wineries to be told from the very beginning. We want that to also create a very strong relationship between the producer and the consumer, because it creates engagement. And from my point of view, I'll have a very nice story to tell my friends about. When I have guests at home, if you are recognized as a person that wants to provide a special experience, well, you can gather the stories of other people, and just in the same way we will tell how this wine is connected with our experience, with possibly a dedication from our producer. Okay, that being the case, let me tell you more about the opportunities. You have to have a strong identity to convey to your customers. That's what our producers want to do. At the same time, we want to create a connection, a bond, and bring a top quality product to our consumers, because you farmer allows you to do that. Both small and big names will find an opportunity to have a conversation with the consumers. That's what we try to do with them. We try to learn from them what they do, and we try to tell them, and they need to learn from us what the digital world has to offer. So that's what we're doing and what we're going to do in the coming years. Now, I would like to give them the opportunity to add the services that they might like. If I use the platform and I like it, if I'm a producer, I might want to add stories that the consumers might be interested in. We contribute also to sustainability because we're looking for the producers who, in order to be part of this project today and moving forward, are excellent examples of Italian farming. You Farmer is now the narrative of the Italian producers in Italy, but soon we will expand that. We will expand our portal, our contact list, and everything we're saying with the possibility to reach any customer anywhere. So relations, involvement, customer and sustainability. We're talking about a digital economy, which is a neighborhood or proximity economy in my region, and then one that, on the other hand, can promote it around the world. We've done a lot of information scouting. We've received questions from international restaurant owners and clients and customers who find that YouFarmer is the right tool to be informed constantly and find the right producers. Now, I have adopted a row of vines in the Langhe, and I contributed to its growth. And now I've seen my wine aging in a barrel, and I have received, and I will soon receive, my customized wine at home. This is what one of our consumers wrote back as a post on our app. So this is a very good representation of what we're trying to convey, emotions. Now, what we are is best defined as a marketplace. We are not e-commerce, we're a marketplace. Now, the marketplace is a place where the producers, where the farmers communicate what they have to say, and making it possible for him or her to make contact with the consumers who are also willing to make contact. We will never, ever find a YouFarmer product on a store, on an online store, or other wine lists. But we are not just having products made for us. What we are granting people is the opportunity to adopt the vintage that is being produced and that will be released in the coming months and years. This is the goal. So there's some sort of connection that we create between producers and consumers that has a future too.
Quindi, quali sono i vantaggi?
So again, what are the benefits? We provide our producers all the technological infrastructure. I might bore you with words like cloud and digital ecosystems. Well, with us, our producers are absolutely safe. I mean, the system is not going to be a problem. We collect the information. They can provide all the contents that they feel are right for his or her communication. And we will give them the opportunity to valorize their product and brand, and they will retain full control over the price. For the customer, we will give them an absolute certainty of the origin of the wine. The wine can only be released from the winery of the producer. We provide logistics, we provide everything that is necessary for an experience that will not be a burden for the producer, and we will create a sense of belonging too. When I visit a region, it often happens that I think of visiting a winery, and there might be many. And although I've gone to wineries for most of my life out of curiosity, I still don't know all of them. And through you, farmer, instead, you can really get in contact with something that our area, the area we're in, has to tell. Now, we are representing people. I will not dwell on this slide because Gianluca is with us today. He will tell us more about his experience with you, farmer. But at the same time, we have producers who are willing to tell the story, people who have converted their production from selling the grapes they were farming to producing wine. Producers who are launching new products all the time, and producers who keep doing just their own job with a lot of quality. And we're looking for people who want to present their ideas. Now, who are our customers? Who are the people coming to visit our website and finding something that is there for them? Well, it might be private citizens or restaurant owners that wanted to convey their interest in looking for a premium product. And we have scouted in the past 12 months, and we've met Hong Kong restaurant owners who said, can I really reach a local producer and serve, for instance, an Umbrian olive oil on their tables in China? Well, the adoption allows you to discuss the volumes that you want to buy for 1 year of service and to manage correctly the marketing of a product outside your typical markets and tell the story exactly as it begins. And that also allows me to communicate with the producer from day one and share with the producer the emotions and also the technicalities of his or her work. And then the label that will be produced will valorize both sides of the equation. On the other hand, there are customers who go to a portal to buy a bottle. It could be two young people who live in Milan who wanted to pour something different for their guests. And so when I go visit, I find something special. So there can be different reasons, a direct relationship to the person producing the wine, and that is one of the key points in our offering, but also something that belongs to me. Very often we have customers that range from people who want to buy 60 liters of wine to have it all year round, and people who want to have different bottles all the time. I have two daughters, and right now I'm looking for champagne and products from 2010, 2013 to buy so that they can uncork them as they come of age, because they because as they turn 18 or 20, because these bottles will have been bottled or harvested the year of their birth. So there are many different types of customers that are approaching you farmer today. Now, ours is a platform, and it makes it possible for our producers to upload their products. Our service to them it consists of coaching them and supporting them through the digital world. And once the offering and given vintage has been uploaded, like 2021, for instance, we will keep telling that story that you will find on Instagram and Facebook, provided it's not down like yesterday. And our idea of marketing about this is that we wanted to give the producers an opportunity to tell their stories to an interested audience, people who understand the value of what they do, all the way to having the story of the product ready when the product is actually released. I don't know about you, but I have traveled from winery to winery for years, and so the wines that I have followed from the very beginning, the bottles that I bought and kept at best, very often give me some more emotion than the others. As we speak, wine and oil are our key products. We're a startup, and just like every startup, we evolve and experiment. At the same time, we are already devoting time to beer, honey, vinegar, and spirits. Spirits for the American markets are especially interesting because they provide the same emotions. It's a story that lasts over time. Now, it might be excessive. I hope that a spirits producer has come on board, and his spirits will be available in 50 years. I hope I'll be here to tell you. Now, there are producers who are really thinking of showing their current products or products that will be available in the course of time. Some of the producers you see represented here supported us from before the project became an online platform. We are at the level of release alpha, so it's ready for the market, but this is the first time we advertise it. So you see a few big names that have honored us. One of them, and Gianluca is with us, is Vini Franchetti. They believed from the very beginning in the interest of our project, together with producers from various regions that are asking us how the project is developing, unfolding to enrich their offering. Now, you're being served another of the producers that trusted us. That was Contratto. Contratto was also interested in our history, so they entered our platform with both their Contratto brand and La Spinetta brand, and so learned about the interest of co-developing with YouFarm their communications. So our job is, in fact, communications. We are marketplacers. We tell stories. We create a totally online experience, a digital experience throughout. And as I told you, this started as an idea in 2019, evolved in 2020. But the big turnaround in terms of communication with the producers happened when we went to meet them at their wineries, showing to them what communicating their products was all about. We're also an offline experience. Now, it's strange to think of wine tourism during a pandemic, but actually there will be people who will soon be interested in learning more about the wineries they want to buy from, learning about not just the products of the future, but the products as they are. So that places us in the best possible position to provide more narrative and more information. Now, what have we done in our tests so far? The tests have led to interesting results. Some producers have asked to fuse their names with the names of our customers. For instance, we have our first cuvée of Rosé de Noir. It's been tested for a few months now. That has been now sold at a major hotel group. And we also put in place the basic adoption. Before You Farmer was created, we, the founders, had taken a producer and had a reserve of the founders made just for us. It's a label that is absolutely the same as that of the producer, but slightly customized. And we'd like for you who are here to create the conditions to give you one of these bottles that tells our story. But you'll have to deserve it. Okay. What else would I like to tell you? I would like to convey this information not just through words, but also with reference to people who are collaborating with us to make this as engaging as possible. We want to reach people who are passionate about good wine and good food around the world. You Farmer was created in Italy, but it is meant to be a double format. It tells a product to a clientele. One day we will have You Farmer Argentina, You Farmer Spain or France, and they will tell the products of that about the products of that area. We will have a global clientele that will be interested in the products from those areas. What we're not going to do is to mix and match the identities of You Farmer. When You Farmer will land in a new country, we'll have the opportunity to do different things. We're looking at different continents, United States, Australia, and other countries in Europe, obviously. And we will have a double model. First, we'll tell about Italy, and then there will be a local You Farmer. There will be, for instance, a You Farmer France that will tell the world about French products. I hope this wasn't boring. I would like to become part of the emotions, to help you fully enjoy these emotions. You've been served a sparkling wine, a spumante, by Contratto, which speaks for itself in terms of its profile. You will detect the hazelnuts, the Piedmontese hazelnuts, the pastry, an explosion of pastry flavors, as we're often told by our producer. And we have 2 vintages of this product, and that will also be available on You Farmer, because when we met, the producer told us that they are only producing from their own grapes, and they can tell their story from the vineyards. So it's all important. It's all important content, and when Contratto got on board, they provided a key product to exemplify that story. Now, at the same time, we are collaborating with Vini Franchetti, and we have with us Gianluca Bozzurra. It was a pleasure to meet him, and understanding that he is a producer who not only accepted the message from You Farmer, but from day one saw an opportunity in You Farmer, and also created challenges to us. He said to us, I'm not just going to participate, but I can also volunteer ideas. Buongiorno, Gianluca. Yes, good morning to you all. This is a way to present futuristic projects that are in step with time, nevertheless. A few years back, online platforms were mystery players, and that is no longer the case today. It's a day-to-day presence that we're all accustomed to. Now, when I was presented the project that U-Farmer is presenting today in the form of a startup, I thought that it was a very interesting business model, because when it comes to us producers, that helps us create more and more connectivity with the customer. We were talking about buying vintages that still have to be produced or released. It's called en primeur, and it has existed for decades. But it's always been done by go-betweens, by intermediaries, and that wasn't a first-hand experience for the consumer. They would find the product on a shelf. This project instead is a way to involve people, connecting them to the producers, because having people adopt bottles with en primeur purchases and making people understand what they are buying is increasingly interesting for this world of wine lovers, people who are starting to understand what wine is. From a producer's perspective, we're seeing this generational transition. Previously, there were people around ages 40 to 50. Now we're seeing the new generation in their 20s and 30s taking over. And U-Farmer is helping us with that. We've relaunched a few ideas as part of the project that we think are pretty interesting. Our company, our winery, is one that produces in two different areas. One is the Orcia Valley, and the other one is on Mount Etna. We have a tasting today en primeur. We are suggesting that you buy what has been produced, what will be produced. Sorry, we are showing what will be produced, but we can taste what has been produced already. So thank you, Luca, for presenting this opportunity to us. It was a very amazing discovery, truly amazing. Now, what made a difference in our relationship was that we initially met online, as is normal these days. Well, Gianluca one moment later, just called me to invite me to visit his winery. I personally went to Trinoro. Our colleagues went to Passo Misciaro in Sicily. Now, other than the welcoming attitude and what they told us, we made a very interesting experience with Gianluca. The first thing when we presented our products that he said to us was to further encourage us to enrich U-Farmer's offering. One of the interesting projects that Gianluca proposed consisted of the following. Why only bottles? So why don't we think of entire barrels to be adopted? Okay, yes. Our production style follows a number of specific steps. In Tenuta di Terinoro, we have 26 hectares of vineyards. We own 220 hectares in total. It's all international. When you come and visit us, either individually or as part of Luca's wine and food tourism tours, in other terms, because the company is not open to anyone. I mean, we stand as international varietal producer, so we're now harvesting Merlot. The company is now relying largely on Cabernet Franc and Merlot, and then Cabernet Sauvignon, Petit Verdot, and a white, a Semillon. So as you can tell, it's very international. When harvesting, and I don't know if you have a video, the video will be published on You Farmer and you'll have an opportunity to see it online directly. When harvesting, I was saying, we harvest in several runs. It's just 26 hectares, but we harvest 52 times over a time period of just 2 months. Since we are hand making our product, and you should take my word for it, we wanted to assess every single day the ripening point, the maturity of the grapes, to make a decision on when to harvest which varietal. During vinification, our barrique cellar, our caveaux are the center of our process, are at the heart of our process. We allow them to spend like 6 months there, and during the 6 months they will go through a malolactic fermentation, and then there's bottling and final cellaring. Now, that's what I said. You can adopt a barrique. A barrique is pretty interesting, but it's 300 bottles of wine. I don't expect any private consumer to buy it for home, but adopting it on the part of a restaurant could be a good investment. This is truly made in Italy, and it's an interesting project because it bypasses the general logics of the market, where you have a price, you ask for a discount, and then you have certain volumes, and so forth and so on. Now, if you have a row that you know, and you see the wine develop from there, then there's empathy, and the platform reflects just that. Now, You Farmer started working from the beginning, trying to understand how to develop and formalize the Adopt a Barrel project. Today we also have a treat, because we have a glass from 2008, the year of my wedding, and it's from one of those projects. Well, who could be the prospective consumers interested in such a project, the adoption of a barrique, namely? Well, oftentimes it's not a story of empathy, it's a commercial story associated with a big label. The fact that you can already tell what the bottle that the consumer will receive on the platform is interesting. And then there's no logistic problem. Now, if a company wanted to offer a big bottle like Tenuta di Trinore and distribute it to its 300 customers, we can ensure the logistics. That's where You Farmer has a role to play. Of course, the story, the narrative will be entirely decided upon by the producer, but once the product is bottled and labeled, perhaps with a dedication that could feature on the bottle or on the barrel, that will also be transferred to our logistics center. We will collect the bottles from the producer at the producer's winery, and will take care of the logistics, delivering each individual bottle to the person that has been selected by, that has been listed by the company in the presents list, in the gift list. Sometimes you can't send the bottles to the office. in the form of a case of bottles that then at the customers on the customer's side will have to be shared by the people there, and now you can instead send it to their homes, and you have that opportunity because one of the members, one of the partners, and I would like to talk about the partners now, is specialized. We are all specialized. I'm an IT engineer, but we do have within the company logistics experts, finance experts, people who are experienced in the law area. But there's no one who is experienced in terms of wine because, and by that I mean that there are no producers amongst us. We offer our competence and our services to the producers, but we move fast. There are 8 people at Farmer who offer their competencies, and that makes it possible for us to be quick, to be fast. So this is a key point. The more we will receive ideas, the more we'll have a platform that can implement them, test them, and then make them viable for the market. As Gianluca said, the purchases of wine en primeur have been the rule for years. This is not so well developed in Italy. It's more of a French model, but we are helping to develop it in a new environment. Now, within this marketplace, Gianluca is saying, we would like to share our story because the tools to sell, well, we've got them. We're not new to the market. We're present all over the world. And we also have a big market in Italy. But what we were missing was that different connection. And I see this in this startup. It's a very interesting idea, a very interesting project. And I'm interested in seeing how it will progress. We trust you to do a good job. Yes, absolutely. And thank you for being with us to provide this testimonial. Okay, Farmer has to tell a story towards its customers and provide value added to its producers. So we want to ask clear questions. How do you think your evolution with Farmer can support your business in the coming months and years? So thank you, Gianluca, for your answer and commitment. But I'd like to leave you the floor to tell us about the special wine in our glass. This is a Super Tuscan. This is Tenuto di Trinoro 2008, with an important big evolution in the bottle. Still not final because we recommended that these wines are kept in the cellars for as long as one can. It's not easy to wait, I know. We're tasting a Cabernet Franc plus Merlot. So these are the two main grape varieties, 35%, and then 25% Cabernet Sauvignon, and the balance is Petit Verdot. I don't know what you think. On the nose, you find this evolution, the ripe fruit, that is taking us immediately towards the undergrowth, forest floor, and all the fruit that you can think of with dark-colored berries. And then you have the typical leather all the way to the tobacco aromas. I think the nose and the mouth are in balance. So the sensations are very much the same. So this shows that this bottle has a long life still ahead. It's got a very nice mouthfeel. There's nothing uncoordinated to it. And so it's already aged for 8 years. And so, again, in the mouth you detect leather, tobacco, and also mushroom towards the end. And the alcohol is very well integrated in the whole. It's a wine I was very keen on presenting today because when you buy un primeur, you could have a wine like this in your cellar after a few years. And I think that this is also the idea behind what you farmer is doing, bringing to your cellars the possibility to buy en primeur and become part of a story with the cellar. That's a very nice journey to go on together. Thank you, Luca. Yes, absolutely. My comment is superfluous. One day I presented this wine to a friend, and he said, I can't describe it, but it's like an atom bomb. Okay. Other than the score, other than the price of the bottle, the wine, you have to like it. Whatever the price, whatever the points it gets in the reviews. It's always nice to taste like this with a dark glass, not to know what the color of the wine is, because that's where the palate takes over. And then if you like the wine, I mean, that's where you reach success. Okay, I'd like to tell you more about our ideas at Tenuta di Trinoro today. And they're Etna wines will be available from tomorrow morning on YouFarmer with projects that will tell us about the past and the future. These bottles are no longer available on the shelves. They're hard to get. So if you can adopt them on YouFarmer, you might have a very nice surprise. Also with an eye to the past. Yes, we're trying to collaborate in every respect, not just for en primeur products, but also providing some interesting historical releases for the marketplace on YouFarmer. So that is a way also to create some sort of wine club to establish relations for everyone with the producers. Okay, now I'd like to involve you to show how YouFarmer works. So what it does, why, and how from a digital perspective. Now, the first opportunity is to use your cell phones. So you can go to the portal www.youfarmer.it, and as you open it, you can navigate it to make an adoption, a tentative adoption of a product that you like. Okay, there's something special for you and something special also for our colleagues who are following us via the streaming system. People who have registered, as you decide the adoption you prefer, there's just one thing to do. When the registration asks for your name and surname, you should add the word free. All in capitals, FREE. In my case, Luca Passini, and then space free, FREE. It will complete your adoption without asking you for a credit card. But there's a trick. At the end of the adoption, you will have experimented with the product, and then if you give us your address, we will deliver one of the bottles of the Founder's Reserve to you. We will deliver it to your home, and it will be customized with your name, personalized. We have a calligrapher that is very good at personalizing bottles, making them somewhat unique for you. For people who are online, as we speak, you can do exactly the same thing. And when you associate that to an adoption, a real adoption, we will offer you a bottle. Now, if you want to do the same with a Trinora adoption, you can do that from tomorrow on. And if for any reason you cannot do it now, you will have an opportunity with our colleagues
Potete fare la stessa esperienza in
to have the same experience from a desktop instead of your cell phone, if you prefer to see a computer screen in front of you instead of your cell phone screen. Don't worry, we won't be spamming you in the future. So this is you, farmer. In the coming months and years, I will be pleased to participate with our producers and with you in the future of your wine emotions. Thank you for being here. Thank you for attending. If you have questions, so feel free to ask. And at the same time, we'd like to leave some time for you to finish your tasting and to use our desks for a simulation of an adoption. Thank you.